Hey guys, welcome to the Asking Us show, episode number 31. And today I'm going to be talking about 3 essentials for promoting your business on social media. Boom. But if you're a beginner, if you're starting a business or you already have an established business and social media and SEO in general, because it's going to cross over with content which are mutually beneficial, then this is going to be a great video for you. So please stay with me. So today, what I want you to take away from is a little bit of a better understanding of I can't just obviously build content when I feel like it, and over time I'm actually going to build a business. It's going to take a more of a strategic approach to building your business on social media and getting the attention. And I want everyone to remember the big thing about social media, that it's marketing, not sales. So therefore, there's a lot of brand building, a lot of brand development, a lot of trust and credibility that you need to instill in your customers. And the best way to do that is through providing content that is going to add more value to them than to you. That's the key point. Content that adds more value to them than to you. And a classic example of only thinking about yourself, not the customers, is every single post is buy this or subscribe here or contact us or call us for this job, call us for that job. You just inundate the audience with just what you can get out of them and nothing that you're prepared to give them in terms of giving away and showcasing what you do. So think about content that you can provide that's going to be something where if you're on the other end, you would find valuable. Every time I sort of create a piece of content, I try to ask myself, would this benefit me? Like, is this something that I'm going to add value? If someone sees this, especially who I'm targeting to, especially if it's a paid ad, even more so, right? But just in general, I want them to be able to take that piece of content away. It's either going to inspire them, it's going to motivate them, it's going to educate them, it's going to entertain them, it's going to bring some level of value to them. Well, then I've done my job. And if I can't honestly look at that piece of content and say, you know what, I'm actually quite happy with that, or I would benefit from that, or I really believe I put everything into that one piece of content, and unless I really feel that way, then I'm going to probably get the same response, if I'm honest, with how that piece of content will be received to the wider audience. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, people will know how much effort you put in your content. They will see it. So number 1 essential is be consistent. When you want to produce a piece of content, make sure you just don't add something now and 4 weeks later add something else again. Try, if you're a small business, medium business, especially if you're a large business, try to create a piece of content every day. Now, if you're going to add content on your SEO, on your blog, then try to be as consistent as you can. So you might write an article and then you will share that on your social media platforms in different formats. Maybe if you have an image with a quote from it and then a link with it, running an ad on Instagram and Facebook, that work really well. Maybe you want to do a quick video on it and then do the video on LinkedIn and share the article if it reaches that sort of audience as well. Make sure that when you are delivering that piece of content and you are being consistent with that piece of content, that you deliver it in the form that best matches the demographic of that platform. You know that if it's a LinkedIn, they're more professional. They're going to want to see how you write about it and how you talk about it and speak about it. It's going to be a little bit different than when you promote it on Facebook, for example. So think about, when you are being consistent, how you're going to deliver that piece of content. So you can actually take one piece of your top level content and then spread it out over, Monday will be posted on Instagram, Tuesday will be posted on Facebook, and you can talk about it for the whole week in different ways, in different forms, making sure you're bringing unique value. Another thing that I discussed when I spoke about this quickly, was when you might actually have a plan. So Monday might be a video on Instagram and Facebook day. Tuesday might be writing a piece of content, putting on the blog, sharing it on Twitter. Wednesday might not be, you not necessarily produce content per se, but you're reading content that people are posting up relevant to what you do on Twitter and replying and commenting and adding value that way. On Facebook, you might be looking at people that are related to you and liking, subscribing relevant channels to you where you can actually add value and you're commenting and you're replying. So it's a day where you're just consuming content and providing value. And that way people will go, okay, well, is that a piece of value here? Let me go and see what this person, he or she does on their channels. So, and then Thursday might be a YouTube video day, and it goes on. If you actually have a plan, you're probably more likely to execute it. So be consistent. Don't just post something now and 2 weeks later you post something else, and then 4 weeks, and then 6 weeks, and then 2 weeks again. Be consistent so people know to regularly come back to you. But at the same time, you don't want to be overly consistent where you just start, spewing out quantity, but there's no real quality. You're just doing it for the sake of it. Sometimes I get what my problem is, and I'm already on 7 minutes. My problem is I want to produce a heckload of content. I want to produce a video, but I'm like, I don't think that's going to hit it today with the audience. Like I've got this urge, I want to share, I want to talk, I want to speak, but I'm thinking, am I really going to add value? No, well then I'll move on. So be consistent and don't just, speak for the sake of speaking and don't be overly consistent. Just have a plan you stick to that's regular. Number 2, and I've got to speed it up, be engaging. Now you're going to say, no, but really be engaging. Think about do some competitor research. Have a look at what your audience sort of responds to. When I look at some of the top people that I listen to, like Brian Dean and Neil Patel and a few others, I will not only am I consuming their content, trying to learn from them and their perspective, but I'm also seeing how the people respond to them. Like if they say, leave a comment at the end of the video, how many comments did they get versus if they didn't say that? So just watching what other people are doing in your industry, they are getting a whole lot of engagement. So what are they doing? How are they captivating the audience? Obviously, you've got to think of your own authentic way to be engaging. People want the real you, but there's a science and an art to it. The science is, obviously if you ask for a comment, you're more likely to get a comment. The science is, share this if you found it valuable. If they hear that, they're more likely to do it because you've asked them. So there's obviously a lot of science things you can do. Obviously, having content that people are going to get some sort of emotional response to. They're going to find it funny. They're going to laugh. They're going to cry. Whatever the case may be. Something where it's emotionally provoking in that way. If it's provoking emotionally, there's going to get a response. Now you don't want to be a jackass and just put out content that it's obviously not nice content and you're only doing it for a reply. People do that because they worked out, emotion gets that response, but you want to do it in a positive way. Also, to be engaging, you just have to be you, and you have to figure out, if I do this, if I say like that. So there's science-specific tactics, and then there's the art. How much editing went into the video, how much quality images did you use? How well written was your captions? How well written was your descriptions? How well written was your ad creative? And so, obviously the actual creative itself and how much effort and work and sort of time went into producing that piece of content is probably more likely to get engaged over other content that you sort of produce quickly. So be engaging and find out. And if you need ideas and you're like, I don't really know what's engaging, well, then look at other people in your industry that are getting the sorts of engagement that you will like and see what they're doing and see how you can be inspired by that and then sort of replicate it in your authentic way. Third, and I spoke about it in the first point, which was being consistent, be value adding, bring value added content. Don't just bring something that's already out there. The internet has enough content. There is enough content on the internet. Let me just put that through your head. There's enough content on the internet. But there's only one you that can bring out your perspective, your insights, your experience. So when you are going to create a valuable piece of content, really work out exactly how this is going to bring value to that other person. Are you going to sell a product? And if it's the two same products and your product is cheaper, well, that's a value in some way, right? The literal sense. So it doesn't always have to be, value doesn't always have to come in the same form of, I educated someone, I mentored someone, I consulted with someone, I inspired someone to do something. I mean, that's a really great piece. That's a great way of adding value. And one of these painters that were following me on Instagram commented to me and said, because of you, I'm now creating content on Instagram and Facebook that is actually having a real impact on my business and brand awareness. And I'm thinking, wow, like he heard me and he acted. There's another a friend of mine that's running a political campaign, and he wanted advice on Facebook and running ads, and he's an elderly bloke, relatively elderly, like for me, 70's not overly that old, but obviously he feels like he's just like, this whole social concept is just over his head. And I'm like, it's not. You're just overthinking it. You're overthinking it. Just get in front of the camera and start speaking. And he did his first video. He was very excited because not only did I motivate him and educate him, but I really worked out what's his biggest problem is. He's overthinking the entire process. He thinks, I'm old, social media is for young people, and I can't work it out because I'm old and it's for a young group of people. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's for anybody. You just need to spend time learning it, right? And just showing him on my phone, look, this is how you run an ad, right? This is how you build content. Oh, really? That's what it is. And we literally took a video on his phone of what he's running for, which party he's running for, what he stands for, and we uploaded it. And he's like, oh, that's all it was. Pretty much, that's all it was. And then he went back and he did it. And that's bringing value, right? That's motivating people to do something. But you may also be value adding. You might be funny. You might be humorous. You have a look at some of the top YouTube celebrities, PewDiePie, Jake Paul. Obviously, these people, like, I don't get it, right? Like they're not the sort of people that I like to listen to a whole lot. I'll listen to them to see why. It sort of interests me why they're so popular, and I want to see exactly how they create their videos, like their humor, or, just looking at the art of what they're doing, just because that's like, I like that. But in terms of the actual content itself, I'm just like, I don't get it, right? But millions of people do. So he's bringing value through his commentary on pop culture. That's pretty much what I found it to be. Commentary on pop culture and his perspective and his opinions. And obviously he has a following because he's entertaining. So he's not educating, he's not motivating, he's not mentoring, he's not doing anything like that, PewDiePie, but he's delivering value through entertainment. And so there's many ways to bring value. It doesn't always have to be sell something or you provide something or you could be just something like, my wife's auntie is actually, she's about to start not-for-profit. They're not not-for-profit now, but they go and adopt cats. They go and find cats that are on the streets, they're getting abused. They take the cats, they look after the cats, and then they spend their time looking after the cats, feeding the cats until they can adopt them out. They've got a big following based around other cat-crazed people that love cats. and they're seeing this honest, authentic person add value to something that not even directly to them, but they're adding value to something that they also believe in. So all these other crazy cat people are looking at, wow, look how well this person, like they're going out of their way to find cats on the street. They're looking at, they're literally bringing back to their home. And so they're bringing value indirectly to their audience that they're targeting. They're not actually bringing something directly to that audience. They're bringing it, if anyone, if they're bringing value to anybody, they're bringing value to the cats. But people that also love cats are finding it value added because obviously they're sharing the same strong affection towards the animals in general. And so people are following my wife's Arnie because of that reason. And that's powerful. When people are so selfless and they're full of humility and they're doing something bigger than themselves and you're bringing people around. So there's so many ways to bring value. The cat's got the value. I just love that one. So guys, just to reiterate, number 1, be consistent. Number 2, be engaging. And number 3, be value adding. Yeah. All right, guys, if you've got any questions, please comment below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel because I'm going to start producing content in a way that's going to blow your mind. Yeah.